NICE certification. The right place to work. Neuro-Inclusive Certified Environments. The Global Master Certification for Neuro-Inclusive Built Environments. The nicer future, illuminating the invisible. For over a century, the global architectural narrative has been written for a statistical average that does not exist. While we have mastered the art of building for the eyes, we have largely ignored the needs of the axons. The result is a silent epidemic. Millions of brilliant, neurodivergent individuals, the invisible workforce navigating environments that act as a constant sensory assault. These are the thinkers who mask their discomfort to fit into open-plan chaos, the innovators who battle the brain fog of poor lighting, and the creators who burn out because the world around them was built without a biological metronome. Born from Sophira Hub. The NICE Neuro-Inclusive Certified Environments certification began with a singular, radical act of empathy. Before we build sanctuaries, we must listen to the brain. By rooting this standard in the Sophira Hub diagnostic framework, NICE moves beyond architectural best guesses. We use data-driven insights to understand the unique sensory thresholds, proprioceptive needs, and cognitive rhythms of the actual people who inhabit a space. Sophira Hub is our North Star, the source of truth that ensures every NICE environment is a direct response to the human nervous system. The environment as medicine. NICE is not just a certification. It is the first super standard to position the built environment as the most powerful, non-pharmacological intervention in human history. We believe that a building should not be an obstacle to overcome, but a partner in your success. To the millions who feel unseen in their daily workspaces, NICE offers a promise of resonance. We are engineering a world where silence is precision, where acoustic gating protects your focus. Light is vitality, where circadian engineering synchronizes your body and mind. Space is safety, where logical sequencing eliminates the anxiety of the unknown. With NICE, we will know if this is the right place to work. When a building achieves NICE certification, it becomes more than a physical structure. It becomes a sanctuary. It signals to the world that the right place to work exists. It is a place where being neurodivergent is not a deficit to be accommodated, but a biological diversity to be celebrated. We are not just changing floor plans, we are changing lives. We are building a future where you can leave your workspace with more energy than you arrived with. A future that is finally, fundamentally, nicer. Making the world nicer for every mind, one sanctuary at a time.
For over a century, global architecture has been optimized for a specific type of user, the statistical average. In biology, that average does not exist. Design standards focus almost exclusively on visual aesthetics. We prioritize how a space looks to the eye, while ignoring how its geometry and lighting affect the axons and synapses of the human nervous system. This oversight has created a silent epidemic. Millions of neurodiverging individuals, an invisible workforce of innovators, navigate workspaces that act as a constant sensory assault. These environments lack a biological metronome, leading to a high allostatic load. Allostatic load is the cumulative physiological wear and tear on the body caused by chronic exposure to environmental stressors. Buildings recognized for their striking visual design frequently fail their occupants on a biological level, driving high-performing talent toward cognitive burnout. The NICE framework positions the built environment as a powerful non-pharmacological intervention capable of supporting human health through engineering. The target state is resonance. This occurs when the physical properties of a building perfectly align with the sensory and cognitive thresholds of the human nervous system. Achieving this requires replacing architectural best guesses with the Sophira Hub diagnostic framework. This provides the raw biological data needed to understand how actual occupants inhabit a space. This data forms the basis of the Neuro-Inclusive Certified Environments, or NICE certification. It is a technical super standard designed to synchronize the body and mind with the surrounding architecture. A NICE certified building signals that a workspace functions as a sanctuary. It removes the physical barriers to productivity, acting as a dedicated partner in human success. Phase 1 establishes the foundations by shifting the success metric from standard occupancy to biological diversity. Module 1 defines the ethical mandate. Design cannot begin until the nervous system of the user is measured and understood. Module 2 introduces embodied cognition. This is the principle that the brain's cognitive processes are deeply rooted in the body's physical interactions with its environment. To maintain stability, the brain requires constant vestibular feedback. We address this through engineered ground surfaces that provide consistent proprioceptive data from the floor up through the spine. The framework utilizes kinetic transition zones and pause places. These elements allow the brain to physically map and stabilize itself within the environment. Engineering this invisible proprioceptive landscape is a prerequisite. Without it, the physical structure will continue to trigger a stress response in the occupant. Phase 2 moves into the architectural layout, applying the biological requirements to the physical structure of the building. Module 3 focuses on site planning and sequencing. This establishes the chronological order and architectural logic required to resolve spatial confusion. Unpredictable environments are a primary trigger for anxiety in individuals with autism or ADHD. This floor plan utilizes compartmentalized sensory zoning to support predictive processing. Predictive processing is the brain's effort to constantly guess what happens next. If a space lacks logical flow, the brain exhausts its cognitive energy on environmental monitoring. We eliminate the anxiety of the unknown by enforcing cognitive wayfinding and sensory mapping. Logical spatial sequencing transforms the physical journey into an intuitive narrative, reducing the cognitive load required to navigate the workspace. Module 4 defines the surface finishes and materials, the tangible textures and chemical compositions that form the environmental interface. Standard modern buildings often feature high-contrast patterns and reflective floors that create visual distortion and sensory distress. We strictly ban the red list, hazardous chemicals and building materials that off-gas neurotoxins. Instead, we use specific tactile materials, wood, stone, and natural textiles. These provide visual rest and chromatic balance, acting as a protective sensory shield for the occupant. Module 5 addresses fixtures, fittings, and furniture, which serve as the physical tools for cognitive comfort. These ergonomic adjustment zones facilitate familiarity gating. Familiarity gating is the process of reducing cognitive noise by giving users micro-control over their immediate physical environment. Placing the power of physical control directly in the hands of the user provides constant reassurance rather than restriction. Phase 3 shifts focus to the mechanical systems and invisible functions that sustain the building's environment. Module 6 mandates rigorous acoustic engineering. The operating philosophy here is that silence is precision. This diagram illustrates acoustic gating. This is a technical mechanism where the architecture actively absorbs or redirects ambient noise to protect the occupant's deep focus. This engineering requires validation through reports like the Mostadam Health Report, proving regional thermal, acoustic, and lighting compliance. Mechanical systems alone are insufficient without the proper Phase 4 protocols for operations and organizational health. Module 9 details psychosocial leadership. The physical safety of a building is ineffective unless the organizational culture is trained in neuro-inclusive stewardship. Ultimately, the framework's success depends entirely on the seamless integration of hard mechanical engineering with empathetic human management. This 4-phase architectural stack creates a fully realized sanctuary environment, calibrated to the human nervous system. To maintain the integrity of the NICE standard, we utilize a tiered professional accreditation system defined in Phase 7. The NICE 1 implementer is the architect of resonance. This tier focuses on the direct application and integration of the standard into design projects. The path culminates with the NICE 3 Master Trainer. These professionals act as global ambassadors, authorized to lead national policy initiatives and evolve the standard itself. This educational pathway allows architects, engineers, and HR leaders to shift global industry practices toward preventive health. The NICE certification provides the evidence that a workplace can be designed to support the invisible workforce. It operates on the principle that neurodivergence is a biological diversity to be celebrated, rather than a deficit to be accommodated. We are engineering a future where occupants leave their workspace with more energy and vitality than they arrived with. Designing for a statistical average is no longer viable. Success in the modern workforce depends on engineering resonance. The mission is to make the world nicer for every mind, one sanctuary at a time.